Graduates and guests, may we have your attention, please? Convocation is about to begin. If you have a mobile device or pager with you, please turn it off or silence it during the ceremony. Thank you for your attention and congratulations. If able, please rise.
Good afternoon and welcome. We wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit Valley. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. We are also grateful to have the opportunity to celebrate the achievements of our scholars who graduate today. On their behalf, let us express gratitude for the support of their families and friends, and for the faculty and staff who have guided them in their pursuit of knowledge. Whatever our own traditions, let us reflect as we proceed through the convocation ceremony on the many years of sacrifice, effort, and success that have brought us to this time of celebration. In concilium Universitates Torontonenses vocati somus. Graduates, please remain standing. All guests, please be seated.
Insignissima Cancellaria. Presento tibi hosce scholaris, ut admittantur ad gradus varios testorque eos quoad omnia quae statuta requirunt aptos et idoneos esse.
Et profectum hui est provinciae, hui est qua magnae patriae, et profectum omnium nationum, omnibus in terris conjunctarum. Algo ex accitoritate mihi etoti, universitate commissar. Et mitto vos et grados varios, quarum ura vubisto, et petoco qua, ut omnia conflicti autos munera qua, et illos gradus pertinent.
Please be seated. My name is Merrick Gertler, and it is my great privilege to serve the University of Toronto as its 16th president. Today, I have the additional privilege of assisting Chancellor Rose Patton in conducting this convocation. The university is an institution with deep historical roots and many enduring traditions. Among those is our use of the language of the medieval university in today's wonderful celebration. For those in attendance who, like me, are less than fluent in Latin, a translation may be helpful. For my part, I said, most distinguished Chancellor, I present to you these scholars that they may be admitted to the various degrees. And I bear witness that as far as all things which the statutes require, they are fit and suitable. Much more significantly, from the standpoint of the graduating class, the Chancellor then replied, to the benefit of this province, this great country, and to the worldwide community of nations, I, by the authority vested in me and in the whole university, admit you to your various degrees, grant to you the rights, and ask of you the responsibilities of doing all those things which pertain to those degrees. And so, as my first order of business, I'm delighted to salute you, the graduating classes of 2023 from the University of Toronto Mississauga. That's it, you're done. Warmest congratulations. I would also like to bid a warm welcome to everyone who has joined us here in historic Convocation Hall. Graduates, today the University of Toronto is formally recognizing your hard work, your accomplishments, your perseverance in this milestone. And speaking of perseverance, you have successfully completed your program in extraordinary and challenging times, and today's celebration is all the more meaningful for it. Each of you, as a member of the graduating class, is joining an exceptional family of University of Toronto alumni. U of T has a global community of over 660,000 alumni in 196 countries. They are the university's living legacy and our greatest ambassadors. Today, we are also recognizing Basil Jones and Adrian Kohler, founders of South Africa's Handspring Puppet Company, for their global leadership and innovation in the art of puppetry, and for their commitment to social justice, international cooperation, and compassion. We'll hear much more about our honorary graduates in a moment, but for now, let me simply observe that U of T alumni serve in leadership roles in every corner of the globe and in every walk of life. They are prime ministers, justices, scholars, authors, community and business leaders, scientists and professionals of every description. Their endeavors have shaped the world we live in and the way we understand that world. We have no doubt that the University of Toronto's high international standing can be attributed to generations of dedicated and very talented faculty and staff members. But we also understand that this reputation has been built by our alumni, a group that now includes each and every one of you. So to the graduating class, let me say thank you. Thank you for your many contributions to the university while you were a student. And thank you for what you will do as members of Canada's largest and I believe most distinguished alumni community. One more word of thanks is in order. I'm sure all graduates share a sense of gratitude to the friends and family members who've helped bring them to this special day. And so I would ask you to join me and the platform party in thanking them with a vigorous round of applause. Let me continue with a request. One of the distinguishing features of our convocation is that graduates will come forward to be recognized individually. You'll come up on the stage and you'll be standing on that X on the carpet just to the right of the podium. After you've had your few seconds of fame, you will then follow the red carpet and go over to the ramp, down the ramp, out that door, and around the hall. And at that point, you will turn left and re-enter the hall as your peers continue to be recognized. In that spirit, I would encourage you to think of the very last person who's going to be on this stage this afternoon. I believe it will be Sin Man Charmine Tam, Sin Man, are you here? Could you stand up, please? So everybody, remember Sin Man and return to your seat. Thank you so much. Finally, I note that the university is a mask-friendly environment, and we ask everyone to respect each other's decisions and comfort levels with regard to health and safety concerns. Similarly, we will forego the traditional handshake, but offer enthusiastic applause as you pass by on stage. Thanks for your understanding and assistance, and once more, my warmest congratulations. It's now my privilege to invite Professor Lawrence Switsky, Associate Chair in the Department of English and Drama at the University of Toronto Mississauga, to present our honorary graduates.
Basil Jones and Adrian Kohler. Over the past 4 decades, Basil Jones and Adrian Kohler, founders of Handspring Puppet Company in South Africa, have reinvented the art of puppetry and redefined the artist's role in community engagement. They are global leaders in their art form. UBA and the Truth Commission in 1997 was one of the first plays to stage testimony from post-apartheid transitional justice hearings. Warhorse in 2007, seen by at least 8 million people in 13 countries, established the animal as animal and the human-animal relationship as topics of theatrical inquiry. Their holding philosophy of puppetry, in which the breadth and sustained vigilance of the puppeteer guarantees the perception of life in the object, is now standard training in the field. One of their most recent projects, The Walk, a collaboration with Good Chance Theatre in the United Kingdom, conveyed the giant puppet of a child named Amal traveling across Europe from the Syria-Turkey border to Manchester, England, to call attention to the status of young refugees and to model hospitality towards the displaced. Jones and Kohler's extraordinary accomplishments have been honored with a Kennedy Center Medal and both Tony and Olivier Awards. Through the Handspring Trust, Jones and Kohler have nurtured the careers of Black, Indigenous, and people of color artists and have enabled adolescents from historically disadvantaged townships in South Africa to undertake university study. They've also been outspoken gay rights activists, not least through the example of their own marriage and their works for puppet theater that celebrate queer love. During the last 10 years, Jones and Kohler have been central figures in a collaboration between the University of Toronto and the University of the Western Cape. As mentors to and makers with Canadian graduate students and faculty researchers, as well as undergraduate artists, they have been foundational in an enduring cross-cultural inquiry into the poverty of rural children, Indigenous oppression and storytelling, and environmental sustainability. Both received an honorary degree from the University of Cape Town in 2012. For their excellence in the arts, through their global leadership and groundbreaking innovation and creativity in the art of puppetry, and for their outstanding service for the public good through their commitment to social justice and international cooperation, Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the Governing Council, I ask you first to confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, upon Basil Jones.
On behalf of the University of Toronto and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I have the great honor and pleasure of conferring on you, as I do now, the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Madam Chancellor, I now ask you to confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, upon Adrian Kohler.
On behalf of the University of Toronto and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I have the great honor and pleasure of conferring on you, as I do now, the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
hearty congratulations to the new graduates of the University of Toronto.
You have worked hard, and today is your sweet and just reward. We salute you.
The puppet, as an animated metaphor of life, has its origins in deep antiquity. There are ancient traditions in every continent, such as in Mali, West Africa, where we worked with some of the puppeteers still steeped in the ancient traditions.
But in the 1980s, when we began Handspring Puppet Company in South Africa, the art form had been downgraded to a cute TV distraction or an entertainment at uncool children's birthday parties.
We knew that if we wanted to make a living as puppeteers, the company founders were going to have to work against the odds.
Our parents were worried. We bought a truck and fitted it out as a caravan. We intended to make a show and tour it to the small towns of the country. On the eve of taking delivery of the truck, my dad said to me, "You know, you can still pull out now."
Against this context, we began an apprenticeship of 5 nomadic years, ranging around the schools of Southern Africa in a truck equipped with bunks, a fridge and a stove, as well as all our puppets.
But in 1985, we shifted gear, producing a play for adults that dealt with sensitive themes. 2 middle-aged white lesbian lovers encounter a black, wounded freedom fighter on their isolated farm. Episodes of An Easter Rising brought together themes never seen before in South African theatre: humanity in the context of queer and political issues. Puppets were breaking boundaries that hadn't been crossed in human theatre.
Over our careers, we have discovered many new ideas. Today, we would like to share with you 3 discoveries that we think are seminal.
Breathing. Breathing is the essential means by which any puppet must use to claim life. It seems crazy to us now, but breath had been neglected in puppetry arts. People assumed that the audience would never notice tiny micro-movements such as breathing. We discovered that by enrolling the audience as expert observers of the action of the play, we could spark more focused engagement with the puppet's life. There was no better way to introduce the puppet in its epic struggle to survive than through the various rhythms, the non-verbal language of breath.
We have also learned of the capacity of puppets to portray the lives of animals. That is, animals as ontological beings, not humans in disguise. This learning emerged in the creation of 3 plays where animals took center stage. First was the Chimp Project, in which a chimp was taught human sign language. The next, Tall Horse, focused on a wild giraffe's trajectory from the African savannah to the French court in the early 19th century. The third, a farm horse, which became a war horse in the First World War. In each case, a real animal is set center stage in a drama. Animals as animals, cited in the center of theater for humans, we believe was something original for the stage.
Finally, we've recognized the potential for puppetry to break out of the theatre completely.
This outdoor work began in the rural town of Barrydale in South Africa's semi-desert Karoo. It started with an annual parade that rapidly developed into an outdoor performance.
What became the most interesting aspect of these annual ventures was that the year-long process that led up to each show. Puppetry became the motivator for thinking about both contemporary life in the town of Barrydale and for reimagining its past. Research into slavery, wildlife management, and the local ecology became the focus of youth education. A generation of rural children has engaged with animal studies, race, history, research, theatre production, and public speaking.
Some at the Jackman Humanities Institute of this university will know that many young people's lives have been altered in this process, and now, thanks to the University of the Western Cape, more than 50 young people from Barrydale are in tertiary education in Cape Town. the first in their families.
But it was with little Amal, who by great coincidence is here with us today in Toronto this week, that this idea of outdoor performance really took off.
Amal is a 3.5-meter tall little refugee girl from Syria. 2 years ago, despite COVID, she walked 8,000 kilometers across Europe, and her journey from Turkey to Manchester has taken us all by surprise.
Her outsized scale makes her visible in crowds. The fact that she doesn't speak means that anyone watching must read her thoughts from her movements.
She is clearly a construction, yet children constantly want to be touched by her, and adults bring her flowers, handing them to her whilst looking deep into her resin eyes.
In Coventry, towards the end of that journey, the puppeteers were assembling Amal behind a wall. She was watched over by a policewoman, part of the team of her colleagues monitoring the crowd that day. She saw the puppeteer put on stilts. She saw the puppet's arms being attached to her torso. She saw the torso lowered onto the stilt walker. She saw the whole construction stand up. The eyes blinked once or twice, and suddenly she was whole and walking.
Amal paused, turned, placed her hands on the shoulders of the watching policewoman, who, despite her uniform, dissolved in tears.
We are still exploring what happened in that moment, the meaning of drama, the magic of theatre, the suspension of disbelief.
So puppet theatre has taught us, as we in turn have taught others, about the life of objects and respect for all things, mineral, vegetable, animal and human. It's been rewarding bringing animals qua animals to the center of theatrical events. It has been equally rewarding to revitalize street theater in a time of mass pandemic when all the theaters closed down.
What started in a marginal and neglected area has rewarded us in ways we could never have dreamed. So, extrapolating from what has been a wonderful journey of discovery, we would say to you,
do not be afraid to pursue the marginal, unhip, or financially unpromising.
Ignite a need, create a new market, take risks.
Out of the shadows can come great innovation.
Out of the margins, an explosive vision can emerge.
Out of the occluded, love and humanity can find expression.
2 eccentric queers from the southern tip of South Africa went on such a journey, and the journey continues.
With humility and deep respect, we gratefully accept these honorary doctorates.
We learnt from our experiences, not knowing where we were going, but always standing on the shoulders of those who came before, particularly the Bunraku puppeteers of Japan and the Bamana puppeteers of Mali.
We have followed the conviction that we had from the outset, namely that the puppet has its own unique power of expression.
Through experience, we believe that the empathy machine that is the puppet can serve humanity shoulder to shoulder with the world's major arts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you the following candidates from the University of Toronto Mississauga who are being admitted to the degree of Honours Bachelor of Arts. Abdullah Ubada. Tobena Sean Obiauha. Chibundum Jessica Kosisochi Ofoze. James Chukwunenye Okoronkwo. Mofi Infolua Osilema Olunuga. Chantel Kirsten Mascunyana Ong. Liam Orlita. Emily Jane Owen. Michael Owusu. Begum Merve Özbay. Daria Oshigina. Excuse me. Antonia Pakonova. Ariane Joyce Belay Padillo. Anthony Daniel Palermo. Kimberly Rose Panu. Hannah Patricia Barameda Paras. Austin Jinho Park. Jae-hyung Park. Mary Elizabeth Patarakia. Anandita Bharat Patel. Prisha Samir Patkar. Sierra Isabella Peka. Julia Elizabeth Patsis. Sarah Petsinovska. Larissa Gabriela Pereira. Matthew Michael David Petrie. Kezia Ann Phillips. Jacob Pimentel. Veronica Erin Pizzitelli. Chun Ting Pok. Brandon Marsh William Porter. Kasha Protze. Ana Sofia Isabel Dairit Puno. Hamna Qazi. Han Yang Chi. Jia Yi Qian. Yifei Chin. Hafsa Danish Qureshi. Farah Mohammed Radwan. Sultan Rahim. Manjot Kaur Rajanwal. Gift Raji. Shruti Ram. Serena Sita Ramlogan. Hema Armini Ramnareen. Momina Rashid. Giovanni Razzo. Sindhura Ravichandran. Aliha Raza. Abira Razak. Vibhuti Razdan. Bianca Nicole Reategi Delgado. Chelsea Marianne Reyes. Elias Rezgi. Hamna Riaz. Aiden James Rideout. Alina Rizwan. Carmen Rochette. Alexandra Rodriguez Leal. Reagan Maroon Rosa Rupnarine. Kagan Robert Ruley. Nicholas Jonathan Russo. Connor Ryan. Ala Sabe. Hannah Marie Sabit. Amila Shadic. Khadija Saeed. Kushwant Singh Sagu. Safia Sahel. Slade Alexander Sahoye. Fatima Sajid. Mariam Saleh. Abira Salman. Caleb Aiden Samuels. Opneet Kaur Sandhu. Jay-Z Crystal Santaolalla. Ashton Andrew M. Santos. Bernice Nadine Santos. Giuseppe Christopher Alecci Ponferrada Santos. Yasamin Sarband. Elisa Skembre. Jennifer Schneider Malamud. Stephanie Ashley Skudlo. Daniela Lydia Scuderi. Nassim Segadat Ramirez. Sarah Sekal. Jacques-Nicolas Seibt. Malina Talata Seydu. Arwin Sekon. Kira Mintaka Senanayake. Eun-Young So. Yushwan Shah. Ensa Shahzad. Asma Mohammed Shakul. Malika Munir Shami. Anadil Ahmed Shamsi. Shanze Sean. Sijwo Shan. Ryan Shane. Advait Shankar. Nadine Sharawi. Ashutosh Sharma. Ravi Inder Sharma. Mahnur Shayak. James Shelton. Sen Shen. Dong Shen. Ziyan Shi. Leah Shikongo. Fei Ya Shu. Ali Kashif Siddiqui. Hussein Anwar Siddiqui. Maria Rivera Sillano. Evan Daniel Cabral Silva. Cherish Chanel Simmons Baker. Kareen Ashley Singh. Mario Sintujan Sinadurai. Madison Clarissa Skorbinski. Chelsea Lynn Sloan. Sierra Tazina Small. Matthew Son. Shilyang Song. Brandon William Roy Spriggs. Arushi Srivastava. Julia Nunez Stacy. Warren Isaiah Starr. Colin William Strickland. Anson Sue. Yun Tong Sue. Nadia Adhira Suwadi. Ananya Subramanian. Julia Amelia Sucurro. Ryan Douglas Suter. An Ran Sun. Miho Suzuki. Sabrina Kirsten Ganchwa C. Oruj Fatima Syed. Samia Duha Sayed. Zara Heather Saida. John Ethan Shemansky. Aisha Imam Tahir. Lara Tamim. Florence Tang. Kinwai Tang. Yat Chun Tang. Yutung Tang. Alan Lau Tekemuril. Tusha Tevatas. Sarah Grace Thompson. Candidates from the University of Toronto who are being admitted to the degree of Honours Bachelor of Science. Justine Claire Obidowski. Julia Natalia Obrokta. Christina Ann Ogilvie. Ayomide Ogunlaja. Keita Oki. Daniel Olinik. Gabrielle Nicole Rain Galve Almedo. Oluwadamilare Olusanya. Fadumina Omar. Rim Yasser Omran. Sandra Oraha. Daniel Fabian Ore. Grace Elizabeth Otto. Saida Zara Owais. Nardine Owais. Emma Pakonova. Jasleen Pada. Aditya Padmanabhan. Maria Paidakovska. Krisha Pandai. Anshu Pandya. Churun Pang. Kajol Girilal Panikar. Simrandeep Pannu. Simran Panfer. Kairavi Parikh. Amy M. Park. Yaleen Park. Jordi Sachin Parmasar. Selena Parso. Fatima Farouk Patel. Hemali Minesh Kumar Patel. Mintiben Patel. Naman Patel. Niral Patel. Pranshu Patel. Samantha Anastasia Pavlidis. Ryan Joseph Pavlovsky. Teresa Petch. Sylvia Pedruco Choi. Soler Maria Cristina Pelletier. Connie Peng. Hai Chung Peng. Winnie Peng. Yu Peng. Brendan Thomas Pereira. Venura Nikita Pereira. Dylan Birch Perry. Monica Peterkova. Beck Andrew Peterson. Insia Petiwala. Philip Edward Petizian. Lillian Avery Finney. Khurshid Dariush Ferozmand. Brianna Victoria Pierucci. Michael Pirshala. Sahana Pirabukaran. Alessandra Pola. Rohan Pujari. Esther Verónica Portillo Cisneros. Prajwal Pudel. Samira Premakantan. Christina Pauline Prosper. Elizabeth Provost. Isabella Pupin. Keetana Pushparaja. Carolyn Yu Chiang. Jia-Yo Tsin. Ya-Chi Chu. Ziyang Chu. David Nathaniel Chuan. Matthew Ui Quijano. Samin Tariq Qureshi. Abira Rahil. Masrur Boboyonovich Rahimyonov. Muhammad Faizur Rahman. Winna Rehman. Bella Mira Raja. Simran Rahra. Rupa Gitanjali Ramdat. Fatima Radia Ramiz. Osana Jayashri Ramkisoon. Pirakashini Ramkumar. Angelica Marie Ramutar. Maya Neoma Ramsahai. Ria Rana. Alia Rangnikar. Zainab Rasul. Tasnim Majed Rasas. Rahul Ravindran. Ayana Razi. Nicholas Ray. Holly Rose Ma Rayom. Justin Rejef. Jeremy John Reist. Pamir Rejayan. Shuangyue Ren. Marco Rendace. Carmelo Restivo Caponcello. Arushi Rubin. Anaya Ivana Reyes. Samantha Grace Ryby. Kaylee Elizabeth Richards. Syed Hussein Ali Rizvi. Honeya Rizwan. Yasmin Romi. Sandra Nicole Rosinski. Hannah Elizabeth Rufo. Laura Leticia Romeo. Mark Rizak. Selena Charisse Sabetti Franklin. Uzair Sabi. Rachel Sagar. Agamjot Singh Saini. Harleen Kaur Saini. Navdeep Singh Saini. Tusem Sakaria. Dalia Hosni Saleh. Hagar Mahmoud Saleh. Osama Hatem Saleh. Youssef Saleh. Cynthia Salik. Reese Jewel Salisbury. Mehreen Salman. Enrico Jose Hari Salvacion. Umera Samsudin. William Sun. Joaquin Alfonso San Agustin. David Christian Sancho. Suklin Kaur Sandhu. Hiba Saqib. Arumita Sasiharan. Tala Mohannad Sawan. Sarah Binta Saeed. Melissa Scaramuzzo. Serenity Cheyenne Schliefer. Matthew Sebastian Sea Labe. Mark Nabil Sedhom. Jatavan Selaturai. Ekaterina Semyanovskaya. Sarvenaz Sepehri. Gauravdeep Singh Setia. Jewel Shabo. Camellia Dorothy Shackleton. Hamza Jafer Shah. Ridhesh Bhavan Shah. Zoha Shah. Tahrim Shahid. Youssef Hisham Shaheen. Maha Sheikh. Asin Farouk Sheikh. Fatima Sheikh. Madiha Fahim Sheikh. Karina Shamji. Diksha Sharma. Jaditya Sharma. Samvid Sharma. Siddharth Sharma. Catherine Shaughnessy. Lul Sheikh Ali. Michael Scheinman Orenstrach. Jiaxuan Shen. Le Shen. Qi Sheng. Mohammed Adil Farid Sherker. Katrina Anastasia Shrum. Xiao Tong Shu. Jude Sibai. Saria Aziz Siddiqui. Juliana Sebastiana Sideritz. Amar Amjad Sidhu. Chashanjot Kaur Sidhu. Jessica Alicia Silveira. Dylan Dwight Simpson. Apurva Singh. Harnaz Singh. Simran Singh. Victoria Sison. Dharmika Sivagurunathan. Sarujan Sivakumar. Stephanie Marion Sloan. Mackenzie Small. Everton Aston Timothy Smith. Sarah Elizabeth Smith. Valentin Sobolenko. Arthur Alexandro Sunarto. Daria Sokolova. Junli Song. Rishi Soni. Stephanie Maria Milena Spina. Naresh Shritaran. Gabriela Maria Eusebio Santa Cruz. Sebastian Lucas Stanek. Alvin Jeffrey Stanislas. Joseph Stephen. Jingwen Su. Swara Subramaniam. Nihan Suhail. Mohammed Talha Sultan. Bo Yang Sun. Ruochi Sun. Xiao Hung Sun. Shruti Suri. Abhirami Sutan. Aisha Syed. Humaira Syed. Omer Ahmed Syed. Amy Osayamen Sylvester Omorodion. Lauren Tabunar. Ramisa Tahsin. Mohammed Tahvili. Jordan Tam. Maisa Tamanna. Alice Tammo. Diane Elizabeth Tanasuka. Hillary Tang. Jiagwan Tang. Kai Liang Tang. Julia Tsuxuan Tang. Yifei Tang. Tuba Tastemir. Zainab Arif Teja. Landunika Rasadari Tanakun Mudiansel. Ratursana Thangaraja. Tayini Tayalan. Angela Thomas. Andre Jean-Pierre Assad Thompson. Cole Hames Thompson. Sabrina Abigail Thompson. Candidates from the University of Toronto Mississauga who are being admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science. Wei Tsong Tian. Sharuthi Ramesh. Janisha Devaraja. Candidates from the University of Toronto Mississauga who are being admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Jinru Pan. Jil Rakesh Patel. Yugma Vipul Patel. Kiana Shea Paul. Anastasia Piñati Morano. Sharvani Ramprasad Maharaj. Mustafa Tayeb Rasool. Asra Sheikh. Ling Xuan Shi. Nicole Marie Sikari. Aryan Ranveer Singh. Julio Cesar Siu Elvir. Candidates from the University of Toronto Mississauga who are being admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce. Ochma Ochirku. Jinyu Ouyang. Mingyue Ouyang. Irene Hayrin Park. JJ Park. Tiara Pawan. John Pang Pang. Anna Perugini. Tien Kim Anh Pham. Mei Ling Pon. Daniel Priyajev. Shao Chen Chi. Han Yi Qian. Nathan Francis Cuero. Run Yang Ran. Kiana Alexis Reed. Faher Hassan Rizvi. Pushpak Roy. Desiree Daisy Rubadiri. Anas Abdi Sahardid. Dara Salama. Piolo Vergara Sayas. Dylan Dakota Schrotter. Laiba Kashif Siddiqui. Hannah May Mangadang Sioko. Alex Pakhe Shu. Wen Song. Tony Chantel Souza Diaz Sauvageau. Bharti Srinivasan. Jiamin Sun. Wei Xuan Sun. Juan Carlos Sushan. Nicole Sushiski. And last but not least, Sinman Charmaine Tan.
On behalf of the University of Toronto, and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I hereby admit all those candidates not here present to their degrees in absentia.
As we conclude Convocation, I wish to thank all of you for your participation and your patience. To the families and friends and to those in the procession, let me say thank you. You've made this a more memorable event for each member of the graduating class. Let me thank as well our Chancellor Rose Patton for presiding so graciously over today's ceremony. Thank you, Chancellor. I wish to thank as well the many other colleagues and friends of the university who participated in this convocation, whose names you will find in the program. To our honorary graduates, Doctors Basil Jones and Adrian Kohler, let me say that you've inspired us with your lifetime career and accomplishments, and today you've inspired us once more with your words. Thank you and congratulations. I now invite the Chancellor to bring today's ceremony to a close.
As I bring this convocation ceremony to a close on this, your special day, I want to say that we hope to see you often. We hope to be connected with you. We will be interested in your journey, and we know you will make an impact for the better in whatever path you choose. Concilium dimissum est.